They say money makes the world go round, and it does. Money plays a significant role in any country's society. It is what we use to buy and sell goods. It is a critical factor in raising or lowering a country's economy. More than that, they serve as a piece of history that we can pass on to future generations. 1965 was an indelible year for Singapore as it became an independent state.
During its early years as an independent nation, it made a lot of change that would have far-reaching impacts on the tiny nation. One of its development was the launch of the first currency series.
In this series, we are going to uncover the evolution of Singapore's currency over the last 50 years of independence. From the very first series of notes to the future of Singapore's currency, we talk about how these everyday objects we carry around in our wallets has helped empower our little island to grow from a quiet fishing village to a blooming metropolis.
In this episode, we are going to introduce Orchid and Marine series of banknotes and coins. How did the idea for using the orchids and marine animals come about? And what significance did it serve for then newly independent Singapore? All these questions and more coming up on Small Things, Big Value.
The Singapore the world knows today is also known as the Garden City, with lush greenery scattered all throughout the island amongst a concrete jungle of skyscrapers.
Launched by the Board of Commissioners of Currency, Singapore or BCCS, the Orchid series notes was the first set of banknotes by independent Singapore.
A full set of Orchid series notes contained 9 monetary denominations ranging from $1 to $10,000, of which 8 were released in June 1967. The $25 and $500 notes that were launched in August 1972 made up 8th and 9th denomination.
The novelty of the $25 wore off quickly and soon became rather unpopular as it required more arithmetical adeptness during daily monetary transactions.
Designed and printed by Thomas de la Rue, Singapore Private Limited and Bradbury, Wilkinson and Company Limited, respectively, the orchid notes depicted various orchids that were chosen for their beauty and to show Singapore's youthful freshness as new nation.
Prominent landmarks like the Istana, Empress Place, and Singapore's public housing were featured on the back of the notes. These landmarks created a cultural identity for the young nation. The front of each note bore an illustration of an orchid. It also featured the Singapore arms in various positions depending on each denominations. Throughout the lifespan of the orchid notes, it saw the signatures of the then Minister of Finance and Chairman of the Board of Commissioners of Currency, Singapore, namely Mr. Lim Kim San, Dr. Goh Keng Swee, and Mr. Hon Swee Sen.
It is said that notes which bore the signature of the late Dr. Goh Keng Swee is rarer than the others, thus fetching a higher market value amongst currency collectors. A $5 note with the prefix A/21 is able to fetch a price of up to $1,000, 20 times more than its face value. With that being said, more and more people have started collecting banknotes due to its rarity and high market value. Likewise, Mr. Teo Chu Chiang of HM Art Gallery, what started off as a personal collection of banknotes has now turned into a business of his own.
Why do you think orchids were chosen for the first series of banknotes?
Actually, it's Singapore's what I call 国花, national flower. So if you take a national flower and to put into the banknotes, which I think is quite worth, and furthermore, judging from the design, the orchid until today, orchid series so far is the best design, it's the best color. So I will say that the designer is a very brilliant people.
How do you determine the value of the banknotes and coins?
Of course, there are certain notes with very high value, like 10,000 note orchid, for instance. This note is very rare, the value is very high. When this note is too many or many, this resale value is lower. For instance, $5 of orchid note selling higher than the $10 orchid notes because $5 is very rare. 25 is higher than 50. 25 is rare.
What steps can you take to maintain the quality of the banknote?
You have to seal it up. don't expose to air, and then when your hand is wet, don't touch it, and it may be yellowish, require foxing. So when the note is foxing, when it come out to sell, the resale value is very low. So it must be perfectly very new, straight, no line, then it fetch a very high value.
For money collector Mr. Fu Yongyang,
有哪些钞票或硬币对你来说有个重大的意义？
收钞票、收这种东西，对于我们新加坡文化来讲是有很大的关系的。你什么朝代用什么钞票，就是当时什么情形你会知道。那么独立后，我们跟新马脱离的时候，就用我们新加坡第一次出钞票就出这个叫无极发，懂吗？自己出钞票第一系列就是无极发，第二系列是鸟，第三是人的，船的才到人头了。人头现在经过好多很多种的，它的部长很多种的。我也讲，你问我讲不出，因为我没有去追究啊，老的我喜欢都没有去研究这样多啊。
在收集的当时，您有遇到什么困难吗？例如没地方或不够地方住储藏，没人支持，您怎样解决问题呢？
这种东西，我收藏我自己的本质，我量力而为了。我有钱就买，没有钱就买，这种是嗜好的嘛。这种奢侈品不是说我一定要吃的这样，可能买就买，不可能买就放弃了，没有说一定要买的嘛。到现在他们年轻代他们追求比较高了，他们要好像拱币一个 set 他们要买。我以前不是的，我零零散散买的，碰到我有能力买就买，没有能力买就不买。所以我收的东西不是说很多了，不过我日期比较久一点。一般上每个人都对我来讲是印象比较深的，因为我比较久嘛，每个人认识我比较久，所以我这照片也是18年了，所以每个人都是也是人家知道了，这个是虚名的，不是有事的。每个人讲收藏家很久，因为我们久，每个人以为我们很丰富。其实现在那些要收到很丰富，要很有资本的人才收到丰富，因为有的东西我买不起嘛。你喜欢，但是你不能够去出那个价钱买不到的嘛。
您有收集的标准吗？例如序列号或纸币的颜色。
我的喜欢它的号码很好，有那种6个1啊、6个8，通通那种号码。然后老钞票我喜欢老的旧的也喜欢。
The Marine Series coins were released in November 1967, 5 months after the Orchid Notes, and served as Singapore's first set of coins until the mid-1980s. The Marine Series coins comprised of 6 different denominations, ranging between 1 cent and $1. The denomination for each of the coins are shown in the center. With the exception for the 1 cent coin, all the coins have marked edges. A feature that is unknown to many, but these marked edges along with the various sizes of each coin actually helps the visually impaired in determining a coin's denomination. Although it was named the Marine Series coins, not all faces of the coins featured marine life. The 1 cent coin had a motif of high-rise public housing, while the $1 coin had a lion symbol flanked by shaved-off rice leaves. These banknotes and coins may have become a thing of the past, but the legacy of it will carry on for many generations to come. Perhaps the next time we dig out a $2 note from our pockets, we may want to pay more attention to the history and significance behind our currency. On the next episode of Small Things Big Value, we will continue our journey charting the evolution of our nation's currency by looking at the bird series and floral series of notes and coins. As our country became more industrialized, we launched the second series of notes in 1976. What were the significance of these images on the notes? And what did they represent? Tune in to find out more.